my father decided to break the cycle of abuse, and he decided that he would not kill any more babies, that if he was going to get married, he would allow his baby girls to live. What a guy. But he wanted to do the abusive stuff that my grandfather had done and have a mistress and spend half his money on his mistress and half on his family. And make sure that if he had daughters, they would not talk to him, and he would not talk to them, and he would pay no attention to them. And for instance, like when I was 2, and my mother tried to kill me by putting a bobby pin in my hand and putting it into a light socket, and I told him about it, I got in trouble because I was talking against my mother, and he wouldn't have that. So, you know, allowing your daughters to live is a huge step in getting rid of the abuse. Abuse always happens in families in cycles, and if there's a mental health issue in the family, that will be perpetuated because the abuse that led to the mental health issue will continue. And the problem with sexual abuse is that it's so taboo that nobody will talk about it, and you're not allowed to talk about it. And like if my uncle Davy, who was essentially my grandmother's grandson, and she had sex with him and continued to kill the baby girls. So the baby girls that she had with him were her great-great-grandchildren, her own great-great-grandchildren, and her children. And that kind of abuse. And Davy tried to tell his father and ended up in the hospital getting beaten so badly that he was hospitalized and was told if you say anything to anybody that he would be killed. And he absolutely believed it, because he had been really badly beaten many times by his father. Now my father, because he didn't allow himself to talk to his daughters, didn't and I found out you don't talk about mom's wanting to kill me, you know, and that kind of abuse just kind of simmers under the surface until you have your own family, and then the abuse starts to percolate in you, because there's no cut and dry, this is abuse, this is not abuse, you shouldn't do this to your children. And since nobody talks about abuse, especially sexual abuse, that will continue from father to son, from mother to daughter, and on and on and on, until somebody just stands up and says, hey, wait a minute, this is not good, you know. Throw that cup of coffee on grandma. It's really not good. And you have to, the weird thing is, it all can stay so hidden that people will think you have the perfect family. There's ways of coping and things that you can do, like having your children pretend to kiss their mother. It really looked like they were kissing grandma, but they were a good 5 inches away. But for certain angles, you know, if they did it just right, then grandpa wouldn't get mad at them. So it's really important to stop the abuse and to step back. Uh, like what happened with Trump was that his mother kept him at home, so he was supposed to be homeschooled, but she didn't actually teach him anything. She taught him how to look presidential, but that doesn't get you through life. And normally, what would happen would be he'd go to school, say something to his classmates, who would then say, "Oh God, no, your mother's not supposed to do that, you're not, that's gross." And then you have another perspective that, thinking that you're a god and your mother is a god is maybe crazy, because your schoolmates aren't going to put up with it. And that's normally how you would learn that your behavior is bizarre. And yeah, that's about it, really.